So hey guys, back again for another episode of Stock Watch List. So on today's episode, we'll be looking at a cheaper stock, not like the others that we have been looking at, which are quite huge stocks, or in terms of stock price, they are relatively expensive for some people, especially for new investors. So today we'll be looking at a cheaper stock, and we'll be looking at Sphere 3D Corporation, ticker symbol ANYNE. So let's get started. So as always, we'll be looking at what the company is about first. So Spear 3D Corp provides data management and desktop and application virtualization solutions in the Americas, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. So the company enables organizations to deploy a combination of public, private, or hybrid cloud strategies through containerized applications, virtual desktops, virtual storage, and physical hyperconverged platforms. So basically, it's a data management, a technological company, and yeah, so the company Sphere is what we'll be looking at today. So in terms of financials, we're looking at in terms of its revenue. From 2017 to 2020, it has actually gone down a huge decrease in terms of its revenue for a small company. This is not good signs, of course, affected by COVID, we all know, but a downward trend in terms of your revenue gain is not a good sign for a small company like Sphere. So from 2017, it was at the near the 12 million dollar range in terms of its revenue, and right now in 2020, I mean the last year 2020, it hit that $5 million mark in terms of its revenue. So there was a drop of about 7 million. So it was quite a huge, quite an impactful drop in terms of its revenue, which is not a good sign, of course, for a stock. On on the earnings, on the other hand, it has actually gone down extremely. Uh, ex it went down. It's actually crazy that it dropped this much, to be honest. From 2017 to 2018, it's relatively the same. I mean, um, and currently it is at the $5 mark in terms of its earnings. Uh, yeah, so it's quite a good sign that it has improved in its earnings, but it's still in its a net loss in terms of earnings. So, it's totally opposite from revenue, whereby revenue is going down, earnings is, has dropped quite significantly. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't be saying dropped. Actually, it has increased, but it's still on the negative side of the graph. So as always, revenue is totally different from earnings. Revenue is the income a company generates before deducting expenses, while earnings represent the profit a company has earned, and it is calculated by subtracting expenses, interest, and taxes from revenue. So in terms of recommendation trends, since this is a small company, not many analysts have actually looked at it or analyzed the company. So most of them have been saying it's a hold, not sure about its potential, not sure where it's going. So most analysts do not want to get involved in, uh, taking their time to actually analyze a stock that might not have huge impact or significant impact in the near future. So as always, we'll be looking at the 1 year graph profile of Sphere. And so since September 20th of last year, it has actually gone up, but more a huge significant rise, happened, mid of this year till now, from the month of April, where we can see the volume going up, and August and now September, it has actually gone up until it has hit the $5.88 mark, previously at the range of, stagnating at the range of around that $4, slightly slightly under the $4 mark. But yeah, and currently sitting near that near that $6 mark, which is good sign. Of course, there's an increase, you're happy. But this is quite interesting because when you think about it, revenue has actually gone down. Of course, earnings has gone up, but still in the negative side. So the prospect isn't good for the company, but still its stock price has been increasing. And if you look at its volume on the other hand, it's quite a huge volume for a company this small. Um, so there's actually potential. There's some good signs that you can look at into why this company is performing, in the past few quarters. So moving on to 6 month stock profile. So again, you can see the increase, a clearer increase here, whereby from the month of June there was a steady rise, and then it took some volatile upswings, downswings, and yeah, currently sitting at the $5.88 mark. It went all the way up to one point near the $9 mark and came down. There was a swift upward swing and a swift downward swing, and stagnating around that $6 mark, $7 mark. So yeah, just to let you guys know again, its 52-week range low point was 1.23, and its highest was around the $12 range. So this is where the stock currently is at. So in terms of the last month performance, like we said, it took a sharp increase and a sharp decrease. Of course, you can see the volumes also. There's huge volumes on this particular day. So yeah, so since then it has that it just continued a slight, how do you call this, a volatile motion whereby slight upwards, slight downwards, upwards, slight downwards, and currently stagnating around that $6 mark. So yeah, so not huge, what do you call that, upswings and downswings in terms of its stock price, stagnating around that $6 range. you know yeah, and this is an anomaly, of course, but roughly it's stagnating around that $6 $7 range. So we'll be looking at some articles and just talking more about what this company is, how is it performing, and how it is going to perform in future years or even quarters, and whether you should actually invest in this stock. So the first article we'll be looking at is why this crypto mining stock soared 26% today. This is by the Motley Fool, September 16, 2021. So key point here is that Sphere 3D is merging with Griffon Digital Mining and raising almost $200 million. So what happened? So shares of Sphere jumped 26% on Wednesday, that was last week, after its future merger partner Griffon Digital Mining announced it had received a shipment of machines that will be used to mine Bitcoin in a carbon neutral manner. Shares of the stock were up 36% on the news and are now up almost 400% year to date. So here is the start of the potential. We can see where this company is going to. So in terms of why it soared 26% on that particular day, you can see, of course, its future merging partner announced that it received shipments of machines, used to mine Bitcoin. So there's already the potential where these companies heading to, and the direction essentially where it is going. So that's one good point to add to why you want to invest in this so-called small company, cheap share, sort of. So moving on. So on the same day, Griffin Digital Mining announced it had installed its first batch of 7,200 S19J Pro N miners and will continue to receive 600 machines on a monthly basis. So how does this relate to Sphere 3D? Well, the company, which was originally a cloud-based software provider, has transitioned to trying to mine Bitcoin in an environmentally friendly manner. To do so, it has agreed to merge with Griffin Digital Mining. Yeah, but the merger has not been finalized, as what the article is saying. But it's most likely going to happen. So to have finance purchases of Bitcoin mining equipment, Sphere 3D is raising about $200 million by selling shares of common stock and warrants. So along with 7,000 machines, Griffin is installing Sphere 3. So along with the 7,000 machines Griffin is installing, Sphere 3D plans to buy 60K crypto mining machines that will be powered by renewable energy. So this is the direction where Sphere is heading. They are looking at this Bitcoin mining area and how they can actually input their company into this area and actually go forward with this, and grow through this. So that's the direction that the management has planned, and that's the direction they are heading, in future months and future years. So, Bitcoin mining is an exciting development for some investors, especially for those who are bullish on cryptocurrencies in general. But long-term fundamental investors should stay far away from Sphere 3D stock. This is very interesting. So the company hasn't released a quarterly report since November of last year. In their report, it was clear that its software business was declining quickly. This pivot to Bitcoin mining should be a huge red flag and keep all investors away from 3D stock at the moment. So here they previously in the article they talk about, okay, the good things that as this Spear is doing, but then at the end of it they are also saying that, wait, this coming into the Bitcoin mining area is actually a signal of honestly bad management, and it's just huge red flags um, as a potential stock investment. So so this is quite interesting in terms of telling us to stay away while also showing us signs of why this company might actually you know have good signs of doing well. So moving on to the next article. Sphere 3D secures order for 60,000 BTC N miners, one of the largest single orders in digital mining industry history. So this is the article which was written on September 21st. So Sphere 3D, a company delivering containerization, virtualization, and data management solutions, announces that it made a US $85 million payment towards its previously announced purchase order for 60,000 Bitcoin mining rigs. So the company has purchased 60,000 Antminer S19j Pros, currently considered the industry-leading miner, which will commence delivery in November 2021. So after certain adjustments, Sphere will now be taking delivery of additional capacity from what. So basically, they're just telling what the company is doing, the process in which they are taking, the steps in which they are taking, and just a rough gauge of the work, the behind the works of what the company is up to. So the company have raised in excess of $200 million over the past few weeks and are deploying a portion of the capital initial towards their initial purchase of miners in order to establish themselves as a top miner in the industry. So that's their goal. Their goal is to become a top, uh, to be able to establish themselves, or get them known as a top miner in that industry. So with the first miners up and running at Griffin and a total of 7,000 being delivered to them, the combined company has 67,200 state-of-the-art machines in queue for delivery, which will make them one of the top miners measured by exahash in the industry. So this is quite interesting. So people, in the previous article we saw them telling us to stay away from from this stock, from this company. They are quite bullish on the future of this company, bullish of the stock itself. But however, if you look at the articles that we are reading, apart from that, just that portion, we can actually see progress in terms of the company and and the different things they're doing to actually achieve their goal of becoming a top miner in the industry. So so it's quite ironic, but maybe we'll find out more details the more we read on. So we are very excited to be supplying Sphere with our greatest modern mining rigs and support Sphere's goal of becoming the largest carbon neutral miner in the world. So as previously announced, the company has entered into an agreement and plan of merger with Griffin Digital Marketing, which is anticipated to close in the fourth quarter of 2021. So it hasn't occurred yet. The finalization of the merger hasn't happened yet, but they are very confident that it will happen very soon. So Sphere 3D Corp has a portfolio of brands including HVE Connections, Unified Connections, and Snap Server, dedicated to helping customers achieve their IT goals. So yeah, so this just roughly just letting us know certain things about Sphere 3D Corporation. So the last article I'll be looking at is 15 best short squeeze stocks to buy now. So this was the most recent article that we are looking at today, which was published on 25th of September. So in this article, we will discuss the 15. I mean, we won't look at the 15 best short squeeze stocks. We'll be looking at specifically Sphere, and why it is one of the best short squeeze stocks right now to buy. So Sphere 3D Corporation, it has two hedge fund holders, short interest 2.74%. So Sphere 3D is ranked 13 on our list of 15 best short squeeze stocks to buy now. So it's not one of the best, but to be ranked, top 15 is already a huge thing. So the firm provides data management application solution, which is headquartered in Canada. So in earnings results for the second quarter posted on August 17, Sphere 3D Corporation reported earnings per share of negative $0.19 and a revenue of 0.8 million. That definitely does not sound appealing to any investor to actually invest in the stock. To be hearing numbers like zero point 0.8 million in terms of revenue gained, even for a small company, is just not that much huge progression, not huge appeal factor as a stock as well. So it was actually nearly identical to the revenue over the same period last year, so there wasn't huge progression. Of course, we have to state that COVID happened and all that, but still, there are other companies that are progressing, recovering, and to just see a company like Sphere not progressing at much is a huge, drawback. Yeah. So at the end of the second quarter of 2021, two hedge funds in the database of insider monkey held stakes worth 435,000 in Sphere, down from one in the preceding quarter worth 379,000. So even its hedge fund holders are going down as well. Very interesting. Along with GameStop, AMC, Catapult, Big Five Sporting Goods, and Intercept Pharmaceuticals, Sphere is one of the stocks attracting the interest of short sellers. So it's not a long-term investment. So essentially, what the Sphere stock is it's not a long-term stock. You are not looking for long-term gains. If you essentially want to invest in a stock like this, the long-term play is just not there. Of course, you would hope that cheap stocks, you a long-term play is there so that you can actually maximize your gains. You can put in buy more shares and actually get out more profits. But when it comes to Sphere, the potential just isn't there. You don't see the long-term planning. You see the long-term goal in trying to become the leading miner in their industry and all these goals that they set for themselves. But actually proven evidence to trying to earn or trying to achieve that, you just don't see it. So it's hard to actually believe in this stock for the long run. In terms of in terms of just the near future, you can see where the company is going. You can see the progression in the near future, the merger are going to happen, and trying to get that goal of becoming a top miner in this industry, which can happen in quite quickly, actually, to be honest. But the long-term play it just isn't there. So if you're planning to invest in this stock, look for short-term gains, and definitely exit the play after that. So in terms of what people are saying, potential investors, just the general public, and what they are saying is that yeah, Sphere 3D secures order for 60,000 BTC and minus one of the largest single orders in digital mining industry history. So you can see what Sphere is doing. You can see all the different things that Sphere is trying uh to get, to finally achieve that goal of being a top miner. Yeah, so there is things where you can be positive about as investor. You can see the positive side of what the company is doing to try to improve, trying to grow, and 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 on that side, you can be actually quite pleased as an investor or potential investor. So 60K minus secured and paid in full, start working in November, true company and fulfilling promises. So again, short-term gains, maybe maybe mid of next year, you might want to look in exiting the play. It's just a few quarters where this stock is going to thrive, and yeah, after that, it's just a difficult situation. So Soccerful says that I think volume and price headed higher. Good luck, long shots. Good luck as well. You may want to cover. So a few of them are actually quite bullish in terms of this stock, in terms of this so-called cheap stock, and not a huge company. So there are reasons to be bullish about this company for sure. But if you my opinion is that, like I said, it's not a long-term play. They look most of the comments here are looking at year end of the year gains, or end of the year stock price targets. They're not looking at stock price targets in a year's time or 2 years time, or what is going to happen next year. Most of them are looking at what is going to happen near the end of this year, maybe the start of next year. So that's where this stock is at. So if you do believe that this stock has potential in the near future, you would want to invest in it. I'm definitely investing in it, but it's definitely for the short term, just for the short term gains, and definitely exiting the play once I see the gains. um I see where it has reached its peak, and that's where I want to exit. I'm not looking for to be in this stock for years to come. So yeah, so that's where we are at this stock. I hope you found this informative. I hope you understood a bit better about this company as well, and as a potential investor, what you have to look forward to in terms of this company, in terms of this stock, sorry. So yeah, so again, if you guys like the video, of course, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell to notify you of more videos, more stock watch list episodes. So yeah, once again, thank you guys. You guys stayed all the way to the end, and goodbye.